We're at a lake called the Rise, a syndicate venue in Essex, and the show is all about showing you how we approach syndicate lakes that we've never fished before, you know, the rigs, the bait, all of the tactics. And my guest is a very special guy. Some call him Tom Dove. I like to call him the carp catching extraordinaire, and he's living up to his reputation because he's got off to an absolute flyer. So we're going to catch up with him right now. Master Dove,
hello,
great to have you back on the show.
Thank you very much.
Now, new lake,
yep,
but actually very similar to somewhere both you and I have fished in the past, the Essex Manor.
Yeah.
Irrigation reservoir.
Yeah.
We've turned up, no cameras here, typical, the first day, and the fish were showing, weren't they?
No, so, massively, yeah.
Yeah, and just talk me through the swim because, you know, you had to make a decision, but no marker float went out with you or anything, did it?
No, not at all. I think the guys that were over here before said there's a little bit of weed, but nothing too much to worry about. So I didn't, you know, sort of cast around with a marker float anyway because the fish were right in the swim, and I don't want to go spooking them. So basically, I just looked out towards the left-hand side, and there were more fish showing on one spot than anywhere else, and that's where I cast my first rig. Yeah. About 40 yards out.
Yeah, and that was another interesting thing because I know from form and the people we'd spoken to, the fish had been getting caught quite regularly on zigs, from sort of 2 foot zigs right up to 8 foot zigs.
Yeah.
But you went in, even with all the fish showing, you still chose to cast the bottom bait out first. What made you think that was the right thing to do?
Well, a guy had caught a fish yesterday morning, I think, on the bottom, and I always like to have one on the bottom at least, just in case the fish aren't up in the water and you're missing chances. So I cast this one out. I put a zig out as well, but nothing on the zig, and within half an hour I had both of the rods on the bottom because the zig weren't catching. Right,
now before we look at the rig, because it is really interesting, 4 carp.
Yep.
Right, because we haven't told you that yet. 4 carp. First one, a nice little 20 to bed you into the session.
22 pounder. That was nice to get started. Obviously, it's nice to get one from a new venue.
Yeah.
And then about.
You've recast, haven't you?
Yeah, recast again. And then about half hour later, I had another bite. And that was 37.5 pounds.
Yeah. The one, by the way, while he was playing it, that he thought was little. Luckily, I had the polarised filtered glasses on, and I could see this big long thing swimming underwater. Yeah, 37 pounds of brute mirror carp.
Yeah, wicked fish that was.
And then we've got that in the net.
Yeah, and to be quick, I'd had rig tied already. Cast the rod back out into the same spot. And that rod went while we were just about to get ready for the photos of the other one, and had a 30-pound, 4 ounces in the other net. So yeah, brace of 30 is brilliant.
Yeah, and then a little while later, I then started panicking because I put zigs out, you know, thinking it was going to be a zig session. Went up there, got just getting myself sorted, seen the man, bent into another carp, and that one was
21, 21.12, I think the fourth one was.
Right, awesome.
Yeah, wicked.
So, without a doubt, what you were doing works. So let's have a look at it because this is a rig that you pretty much take anywhere, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's pretty much, well, it is just a knotless knot, this one. I've got a pretty uniquely shaped hook on there.
Let's have a look at that because I don't think anyone would have seen anything like that in the carp fishing game to date. That's a cross between a curve and a circle hook.
Yeah, yeah.
A curve and a wide gate.
Yeah, it's completely different to what's out there at the moment.
Yeah, very unique shape that is, Tom. How does it actually work then?
Well, it's got quite a strong offset. It's very gaped, so when you look at it, it almost looks as if it's opened, and that'll lend itself to getting more bites because the point is almost pointing outwards. But because it's beaked, it will twist and stay in pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, you've done, you know, a lot of underwater footage alongside myself, and you know, we realise how important it is for that hook to catch instantly.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, that's the most important part, isn't it, the hook? And if it's doing everything for you, that's exactly what you want.
And the actual hook bait itself, is that a bottom bait or a wafter or what? It's
a slow sinking bottom bait. If I was to put it in the water, it would only just float without the hook on there. So it's just pulling up off of the hook off the bottom. So it sinks slowly and pushes away from the lead when I cast out. And it's my favourite almond.
Well, I can tell I'm getting caked in it, and this has become your sort of starting approach anywhere, isn't it?
Yeah, that's pretty much all I cast out. I've got them in pop-ups, bottom baits, and in wafters. It's the wafters I use generally, especially when I'm fishing over a little bit of bait.
Yeah, and I can see the hook link's a little bit special, something no doubt that you're testing away, and that's what, figure of 8 or is that?
Yeah, it's just a figure of 8 loop knot. It's quick and easy to tie. I can get one of them tied in a minute and get it back out there.
And what's the length of the exact rig?
It's about 7 inches, I'd say.
Yeah.
If it's really weedy or really silty, I'll go a little bit longer. And again, if it's really hard out there, and I know it is, maybe I'll go a little bit shorter.
And Tom, before you cast out, because you still don't know if you're landing on like a real clean bottom, do you foam that up or anything?
Yeah, I always put a bit of foam on the hook. I very rarely fish a bag, and I like to put the foam on for 2 reasons really. One, that it doesn't get caught in the weed, and 2, on the cast it really helps not tangling.
Right, just keeps it all away from the lead
Yeah,
system.
you can see when you cast that because the foam catches a lot of the air, it sort of pins it away from the tubing a little bit.
Waving around like that and keeps it out of the way.
And then when you stop it from hitting the surface, you can see the foam push away, and you know you've not got a tangled rig.
And again, lead system wise, it's something you take everywhere pretty much, isn't it? That's a hybrid lead clip setup. Bit of dark matter tubing, what, about 12, 14 inches?
Yeah, simple as anything, doesn't tangle again. And
contour
really well
fluorocarbon?
Yep, 12-pound contour. Just used exactly the same everywhere, to be honest, though.
And that's, yeah, exactly. Whether you go into a day ticket lake or a pressured syndicate, you would literally cast that out.
Yeah, you've just got to put it in the right place, and I think we did yesterday.
Well, talking about putting it on the right place, I'll leave you to cast that out, my old China.
Thanks, mate.
Well done on them fish, yeah?
Nice one.